Streaming. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Haven't been on the second channel in a very long time, but I decided to come on here at 10 o'clock like in the old days on the second channel. I have a special guest here.
Hello.
It's Layla. Let's see, is anybody going to join? I don't see anybody in the chat yet, but so Layla made an appearance in my video yesterday. Oh, people are coming on now. Here we go. Layla, who still hasn't watched E.T. You know, it's funny. Everybody said, I can't believe they said I'm a bad parent because you haven't watched E.T. yet. It just never occurred to me that you never saw E.T. because you saw a lot of the Steven Spielberg movies.
Well, you never suggest any movies for me to watch.
I never suggest any movies. That is true. But when I played it for you, I'm going to play it for you again here. But it was really interesting. You knew it was John Williams, actually, right? You said but it was really interesting to get your opinion of it. Hold on, I'm going to play this. Now it's strange you haven't seen the movie, but just hearing it out of context, Stephen, you said that this fanfare part, well, first of all, this part, right? What's that sound like, Layla?
I already said it. It sounds like Jurassic Park. And because it just does. I don't know why. It's the same type.
Same style, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when it gets to that trumpet part, this part. Now, I couldn't think of a better way to describe it than the way you described it as victory or someone saves the day. It's heroic, like hero music. But what is it about it, though? It's not just the trumpets and the trombones that you said. There's something that's going on in it musically that makes it sound like that. And these are the things that I try to figure out. I mean, I kind of know what makes it sound like that. There's specific things. But even watching it, even though you listen to it without ever seeing the movie, you already associate that with it just sounds like a victory, right? Just sounds like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to show you my thumbnail that I just did for this video that we're on right now. So I haven't been on this channel in a while, so here's my thumbnail. Check it out. That's me, three different ages. What's your musical age? So what is your musical age, Layla? What's your age?
I'm 9.
So Layla's 9. So her musical age is 9. So this is an interesting concept here, phenomenon, Layla, is that most people's musical taste stops when they're in their early 20s. So most people that I know like music that they liked when they were in their 20s for their whole life. When they're 60 like me, they still like the music that they liked in their 20s. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Well, that's good, I think.
What's your mom's favorite kind of music? What's mom's favorite music?
Rock.
Well, from what era though?
80s.
Right.
80s and 90s.
And she was in her 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? 80s and 90s. So even your mom, that's the kind of stuff that she listens to. Does she listen to the radio? Do you guys listen to the radio when you go out in the car or anything, or no?
Yeah. We do.
You do? What do you listen to?
We listen to the music station.
You listen to the radio station?
Yeah, the radio station.
Okay, so do you listen to 80s though? Or will you listen to whatever's on?
They basically play music, but they also just like, they say that they play 80s and 90s, but they never do. They only play it every once in a while.
Okay.
And
What do? They play current music?
Yeah, they usually just play current music.
Okay. Because every time that we all go out together, we don't listen to music. Do I listen to music in the car, Layla?
Yeah. Well, not when.
When we all go out together.
When we all go out together,
we don't listen to music, right? I'm not sure why, but when I'm in the car with you and we go out, what do we listen to?
You listen to jazz.
We listen to jazz. We listen to rock sometimes too, right?
Every once in a while.
Yeah. We listen to jazz mainly. Layla and I do. Okay. Well, if you want to go, do you want to stay or you want to go? You can go if you want.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I like that sweater, by the way, Layla. It looks cool.
Thanks.
That was Layla. So Layla made an appearance yesterday in my video. By the way, great to see everyone. And I wanted to tell everyone that if you guys are in Seattle, next week there's a few tickets left for my show in Seattle at the Neptune Theater on the 6th. I didn't realize this. That is coming up. Literally, I'm heading to Seattle. Well, the show is a week from, it is a week from Saturday on the 6th. And really excited to go out there. I have some really cool interviews planned, and plus the show. And I really look forward to meeting those of you that that show up. And I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see what people are writing here, because I can't see anything right now. Somebody says, I'll be there. Wow, cool. So it was interesting, though, that this whole idea of this idea of musical age, right? So I put on my thumbnail me and at all these different ages. It's so weird to see me with dark hair. But staying current in music it's something that in my family, it's interesting. My next older brother, Ray, is he's 3 years older than me. He was born in 1959. And he's one of my biggest influences in music. And my brother John too. So my next older brother and my younger brother John are really, really influential, and they always got into contemporary music. I mean, it's really, I think it's fascinating that we didn't get stuck in listening to stuff. It's not that we don't like things from the 70s when we were growing up, or the 60s. I mean, my brother Ray, born in 1959, he always listened to contemporary music as things were changing. When it went through the 80s, through the 90s, he liked all the grunge bands. So did my brother John. The 2000s, my brother Ray was into, he liked a lot of the new metal bands and things like that. And he just kept listening to contemporary music and would always try to find things that he thought I would be interested in. This is long before my YouTube channel. And I was thinking about this, that in my family, my dad had a movie camera. Okay, so it was a Brownie Kodak wind-up camera, 16 millimeter. And if you've ever seen on my Instagram page, I have occasionally I will post stuff, me running track when I'm in my Okay, hold on. Let me fix a couple things here. I don't have a moderator here. Sorry about that. I normally have a moderator, so I'm gonna have to moderate this. Okay, there we go. I mean, some of these are bots. These people that are spam like that. Those are actually bots going on. So my dad had a wind-up Brownie camera that he gave me. So all of our family home videos taken from the 50s and 60s were done by my father. And they're without sound. And then he just said I can have it when I was in high school, and I would get the 16 millimeter film, put it in the camera, and I would make videos, and you'd send it off to get I would send it off to get it developed, and then you get your reel back, and we had a little Kodak 16 millimeter. No, it's not 16 millimeter. It was 8 millimeter. Yeah, 8 millimeter projector, and I would project it on the back of my door in my bedroom and watch these things. But these are where I've had them digitized since then. Anyway, so my brother Ray, about probably, I'd say in the late 90s when iMovie, I don't know when that actually came out. My brother Ray would make these family movies. Everybody that had a birthday would get a movie. I'm the only one that actually never got one. Aunts, uncles, things like that. Any big thing, if somebody turned 80 or 90 or 40, whatever it was, they would have a video made. So my brother Ray would ask for any type of video or pictures or things like that. We'd usually have narration. He would narrate, and he would put music to it. And they'd always be things from soundtracks. John Williams, Thomas Newman, James Newton Howard. He knows all the film composers. So he did this for years. He has so many movies that he made. This is pre me being on YouTube. And I think about it, and I thought, well, not only did Ray, he was the one that got me to really listen to music carefully. When we were kids, he would always make me listen on the cassette player. I've told this story. Put your ear next to it, and it'd be just the little one little speaker in mono, and he'd make me listen for the most subtle little parts, all the production things, all the things that made the songs great, really. That when I make my What Makes This Song Great videos, they're the same things that Ray and I talked about 40 years ago. If it was a song from the 70s, if it was Make Me Smile by Chicago, we would listen to the long version on the record, and we'd have the single, and we listen to that, and we talk about these things. So this idea of musical age and staying current on things. So last night I went to see the Aristocrats play. For those of you that don't know, the Aristocrats, that's Guthrie Govan on guitar, who is one of the greatest geniuses ever on the guitar. Marco Miniman on the drums and Brian Beller on the bass. And they were phenomenal. They played here in Atlanta. I went out and had lunch with Marco and Brian, and then I went to see the show. And it was incredible. And those of you that get a chance to go see them, they were here in Atlanta. Those of you that get a chance to go see them on their tour, I definitely recommend seeing them. They were really amazing. And so we were backstage after the concert and talking, and I was telling Guthrie about how his guitar playing, how it's really unlike anyone else's in the way that he develops his ideas. Now, he doesn't really ever post on social media, so it's rare to hear him play something other than watching videos from 15 years ago that are out, or the instructional tutorials, things like that he did, or just the jam track play-along tracks. You just never hear us playing his contemporary playing. And so it was fascinating to watch him play with the band. Now, obviously you can hear it when they're putting out a new record. But to see him up close play, I've never seen him before, never met Guthrie, but it was amazing. And he has such an incredible mind for not only developing ideas and unique ideas, but for sounds as well, making the guitar sound like different things. And he has just complete mastery of the guitar and what the guitar can do. And And Marco and Brian are brilliant players, and it was really unlike anything that I had seen. I told them that I was trying to make any comparison of what they were doing to anything that I've seen in the past, and I think about maybe going to see Alan Holdsworth. I told him on the IOU tour, but it's nothing like that, because if you were to define their style, they call it rock fusion as opposed to jazz fusion. Like Frank Gambale is a jazz fusion guitarist, right? That he plays jazz with a rock sound, but they play this progressive music that's not like progressive metal, but it has a lot of metal elements to it. It's definitely progressive, but it's musically there. I mean, maybe you could say it's steeped in kind of the Frank Zappa, in the tradition of Frank Zappa that has these really, adventurous ideas that go anywhere, but it's not. It doesn't have the kind of modern classical thing to it. But it's really, really rock, really rock. Once again, if they're playing anywhere near you, the Aristocrats, I 100% tell you that you should go and see them. But Guthrie's playing, unlike most rock players, and even some of the best in the world, he develops ideas. Unlike anyone else. I mean, I think of like Pat Metheny would develop ideas, but it's a different vocabulary. But it's just one idea to the next. Take a musical phrase and then develop it, and it has a place that it goes to logically. Layla, what's up? What's that? Okay. You can come back in. Come here. What? What do you need? Huh?
Hi. So, is it okay if I need to use one of your chargers?
Oh, you need your charger?
Yeah.
You can use that charger right there.
Okay.
Is that one okay or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Layla needs to use her charger. So, anyways, I was thinking about this. So Guthrie and Marco and Brian are all 51, or almost. They're all the same age, and they all have two initials that are the same, which was really fascinating. But it was very adventurous music, and it was all about improvising. They obviously have worked out parts, but but Marco did this drum solo that was just so good. It's really, really refreshing to see this too. And it's when you get older, it's tough to go out to see shows. It's I go see shows a lot because people are in town. I went to see Tedeschi Trucks play 2 weeks ago or a week ago, whenever I don't even remember now. And I interviewed Derek the day after. So I still go out to concerts a lot, and it's important to go see music if you have the time, you can do it. And going to see people that are putting out contemporary music. But also listening to things that you grew up with is fun as well. One of the things that I like about Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube Music, I use all three of those different streaming services. I pay for all three of them. Honestly, I pay for them for different reasons, because I want to contribute money that I would pay, even though it doesn't, very little of it goes to the artists, the money that I would pay if I were buying albums each year, because that's really how artists get paid, is by the $12 a month you spend, and between the things that I spend, the $12 a month on three things, it's $36 a month. So historically that might be like buying, I don't know, 10 how many records a year. If records were $10, maybe that's three records a month or something back in the day, something like that. So you figure over the course of a year, you're buying 40 albums. That's a decent amount. And so that's, that's one of the things that, that's one of the reasons that I pay for those different streaming services. But the beauty of it is making playlists that you can, when I want to listen to Beethoven, I make a Beethoven playlist. If I want to listen to John Williams, I make a John Williams playlist. If I want to listen to Brad Mehldau, I make a Brad Mehldau playlist. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I have playlists of my favorite songs, kind of one-hit songs from the 70s that I'll listen to, or one-hit wonders from the 80s that I do, which I've actually never done videos on. But it's not easy to go out and stand at a show for an entire evening, like it was last night. By the end of the night, my back's kind of hurting, and so I'll walk to the back at this club we were at last night. Billy went with me, my assistant, and I walked back to the bar so I could lean on it for a while, just to kind of give my back a break. But there's really nowhere to sit down or anything. So, anyways, but having these things at your fingertips is really, really handy. I was listening to to Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony earlier, and for those of you that don't know it, it's one of the most beautiful pieces of music ever written. Beethoven's Sixth Symphony. He wrote it when he was pretty deaf. It was premiered the same night as the Fifth Symphony was premiered in his Fourth Piano Concerto. It was in 1808. The Sixth Symphony was premiered at the same concert that Beethoven was conducting and played the Piano Concerto, Fourth Piano Concerto. Last time he played in public, 1808. Pretty crazy, right? But the idea that somebody that was deaf wrote this piece, and if you don't know it, you should check it out. Well, I'll play you the beginning of it here. I have it right here. This is the Beethoven Sixth Symphony. It's in F major. I'm going to think of this. Let's see if my ear is... Hold on. I think that's what it is. But I may be a half step low. That's what my musical brain's telling me. Let's hear it now. Half step low. Okay. Now the reason that this is a half step low, this is the same reason that people lose their perfect pitch by a half step, right? Your pitch memory in your 50s tends to go down by a half step. Okay? To me, that's what F major sounded like in my head. Okay? That's what that theme sounded like. So, this is a fascinating phenomenon too. And any of you, feel free to comment in the comment section if you play an instrument and you notice that in your 50s your pitch memory seems to have gone down by a half step. Okay? Now my pitch memory is refreshed and I can hear all the intervals and everything in their proper relationship. Okay, so here, let's listen to the beginning of this here. This is one of the most beautiful Beethoven themes. Oh my God, it blows me away. Listen. I love this. Then, with the pedal underneath. The orchestration is beautiful. Right here. Da, 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 and the cellos. Da, 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 beautiful version. Then I love this. Then right here. Wow. You know what's interesting is that digital recordings like this have so much dynamic range. Back to the opening theme. How could a deaf person write this? I mean, this is so... What would compel someone to write music that they can't hear? Well, he can hear it. He could hear it in his mind. He could hear it in his mind. And that's just a testament to the fortitude that he had to do this, that he was inspired. Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate that. So think about this. He debuted the Fifth Symphony and this symphony on the same night, along with his Fourth Piano Concerto and multiple pieces. It was like an 8-hour concert in December. It was December. Hold on. Let's see. When was Beethoven's last concert? We'll figure this out. It's like, what is it? December 22nd, maybe? 1808. I want to say it was in December. Let's see. When was Beethoven's last performance? Let's see here if it says. Well, he made his last appearance. So let's see. The concert, December 22nd, 1808. That's it. Okay, so 1808. Beethoven was born in 1770. So in 1808, he was 38 years old. He began losing his hearing in his mid-20s. How does a guy write music this beautiful when he can't hear it? When you can only enjoy it in your head by looking at the pages? Well, I mean, he's not only enjoying it in his head, I mean, he can hear it in his mind's eye. When I tried to sing along with it, In my mind's ear, I was a half step low. My pitch perception has gone off by a half step from aging. But this is maybe a brain thing and not an ear thing, right? Because this is in my mind, this is what it sounded like. It has nothing to do with my ears because I'm imagining what the sound of it is. And I've heard it, thousands of times. What is this? Neurodivergence? What is that? Let's see. He was 56 when he died. That's correct. There's evidence he may have been able to hear vibrations. Yeah, I mean, he probably that's possible, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he could hear music or he could not hear music, because all the music he wrote, when he could hear it in his head as well. So, and the thing about musical age, getting back to my original topic here, is that Beethoven, like Bach, like Mozart, wrote his greatest works at the end of his life. They all did. And why is that? Why is that? Why is it that most famous musicians, rock musicians, whatever, can't write songs anymore? And most of them after their 30s couldn't write songs. But yet all the composers did their best work later in life. Because they didn't have to do it in real time was one of the things. And because they were really, these people only come around once in a century. They really do. And they wanted to try and write things that they had never written before. They couldn't go and listen to anything. They didn't know what other composers were doing unless they went to concerts or they saw scores. They really didn't know what other composers were doing for the most part, unless they heard them. They lived in the in the same town. Do I feel Beethoven was perfect pitch? He had perfect pitch. Definitely had perfect pitch. Definitely, I believe all those composers did, and they had it for whatever whatever the tuning pitch they grew up on was, and they related it to that. Let me take a look here. Where's my glasses? Cece, appreciate her here. Mr. Rick from Tacoma, Washington. So disappointed I'll be missing you next week. Next week! I'm glad you reminded me. Seattle next week on the 6th. Oh, Aaron's on now. There we go. And then in Los Angeles on the 20th. Who is here that's near Los Angeles that's coming to my show in LA at the Wilshire Ebell Theater? Anybody coming to it that's on here right now of the 304 people? Love to see you there. I have some really interesting things planned. I've got a couple of What Makes This Song Greats breakdowns planned. I also have I'm going to talk about what makes music great in general, the general principles of that, and why I think Layla, because this is a fascinating topic to me, why Layla thought that music, that when she heard the E.T. fanfare, why she thought it sounded like victory or saves the day. Somebody saves the day. There's something to the structure of the music that I will talk about, which I've never really made a video about, that makes people think this. That's all I'm going to say. Those of you that come out to the shows, this is a topic that I'm going to discuss. And I think that I think it's really interesting. There's a video I was going to make about how my brain was warped from things that I listened to in a positive way. There's certain composers' music that warped my brain as a child in a great way and opened me up to listening to really varied styles and listening to really dissonant music. And I'm very glad about that, actually. But I will talk about that. Aaron, so our ultimate bundle is for sale for those of you that haven't bought my Beato book, which is now the Beato Book Interactive, and the my ear training course, and my Quick Lessons Pro. So all three of them are $119. It's $150 off, and we're having this sale this week. And it's, if you were waiting for a discount to buy these things, this is a great deal, and I would highly encourage it. The new interactive Beato book, I'm very proud of. It took 2 years to put together. There's audio examples. There are video lectures. There's video examples. And I rewrote pretty much every example in the book. So if you have any of the old versions and you want to upgrade, you can go to beatobook.com and upgrade there. I think you can. Aaron, can you upgrade through there? Is that how they upgrade still? Yes, right? Yeah, I think you write that. Aaron will text me and let me know that. So somebody just asked what happened to the show on in Chicago. The show in Chicago is November 18th now. It got moved. I had a conflict that I could not move, so I had to move the show. It actually got moved about a month ago or so, but it's going to be on November 18th. So I have some really big interviews coming up beyond the Seattle. Okay, so Aaron confirmed that. If anyone has bought any version of the Beato book and you want to upgrade, you can upgrade through the website, and I would highly recommend doing it because it is there's no comparison. This is so superior to the well, I mean, it's not even, you can't compare the same thing. You can hear all the examples. I've rewritten the examples. There's video lectures. There are videos in it. It's a vast experience. Same with the ear training course. If there's anything that you do, when I'm figuring out these things, John Williams pieces or the Beatles or whatever I'm figuring out, I'm using all these techniques that I developed when I was a college professor. My theory book I wrote when I was a college professor, the ear training course are all the things that I learned from teaching people for years and years and years, ear training. So that's so like I said, upgrade if you've bought my book before. Any version of the book, you can upgrade to the new version through the website at Beato. It's beatobook.com is where you would go. So what else was I going to talk about tonight? I'm going to start posting more videos on this channel again. I actually have my plaque coming for hitting 100,000 subscribers. Now I'm getting close to 200,000 subscribers. If you're new here and are watching this and haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button right now. I'm trying to get up to 200,000 subscribers on here. Philip asked, would I ever go back to teaching? I teach. This is where I teach. I've made 1,000 videos. Oh, this is what I was going to say. So Oh, wait. Another thing. Sorry about this. I'm jumping around like I always do in live streams. My signature guitar is coming out September 13th. For those of you that are asking about it, it'll be actually be in stores or be orderable on September 13th. I'm going to be making a video for it, announcement video. I did a photo shoot for it last week, and it is coming out in 1 month, 2 months, month and a half. I'll talk about how all the proceeds, my proceeds, are going to charity. Save the Music. It's a charity that Gibson works with, and I'll talk about that. And I'm really psyched about it. It's obviously an honor to have a Gibson signature guitar. I won't lie. I've played Gibsons. I've played Gibsons. I've played Fenders, but I played Gibsons my whole life. And my grandfather played Gibson guitars. He was an amateur guitarist, and my mom always knew Gibson. You know, she's like, Gibson, those are the best, because her dad told her that. Papa, Grandpa Domino, who was born in 1899, taught himself how to play the guitar. And I used to sit when I was a little kid and watch him play. I'd sit 2 feet from him, and he would play chord melodies and play Italian folk songs and play American folk songs, and it was incredible. And I would just watch his fingers, and he had so much fun. And we all had so much fun listening to him play. And that was really a huge inspiration for me to become a guitarist. And my mom was so encouraging. Both my parents were, but my mom, that really meant a lot to her. Thank you, Stephen Adams. Appreciate that. What was the other topic I was going to talk about? The before the signature guitar. Oh, so I put out this video yesterday on the John Williams film score, and I start seeing comments like this. Oh, so Rick is going to start doing videos on film music. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? I have like 50 videos on film music. What? Rick's going to start doing videos on film music? I have multiple John Williams videos. I have videos on Thomas Newman, James Newton Howard, Bernard Herrmann. Tons of videos, film scoring videos. Oh my God. People, and then there's people that write in, Rick, you should check out Mahler. You should check out, you don't know that where John Williams got these ideas from. And then they name like the most, really ridiculous comparisons and things like that, honestly. Did John Williams, was he inspired by composers? Absolutely. But John Williams' music is so diverse, his compositions. John Williams, to me, is the greatest, will go down as the greatest composer in the 20th century. He will. I don't make predictions usually, but I will make that prediction, and I will stand by that prediction. Absolute genius, beyond imagination. And you know the story behind the last sequence in that, which is 15 minutes long, the bicycle sequence in E.T. when Elliot takes off with E.T. is that they couldn't sync he couldn't sync it with the film when they were doing the scoring session. So Steven Spielberg said, John, just play it, forget about the movie, play it as you think it should go, and I will fit the movie to it. Now that never happens. But you know what else never happens? people don't write film scores like John Williams or like E.T. Imagine being a director and that's the score that your film composer came up with. It is really unthinkable, really unthinkable that was yeah, it's just wow, blows me away. Steven says, why do I think upstate New York was such a fertile ground for progressive rock when I was young? It wasn't a fertile ground for progressive rock, Steven. It was a fertile ground for music and for music learning. It was a great place to grow up. I'm not sure why. Music was, I'll make a guess here. There's a lot of Italians that live, at least in my town. A lot of it. Half of my town was Italian. And there was a huge musical tradition of people playing musical instruments. And in Rochester, we had the Eastman School of Music. A lot of the people that taught at the Eastman School of Music lived in my hometown, Fairport. A lot of the professors there. And that's one of the best music conservatories, if you will, in the world. Eastman School of Music, one of the best. My school, public school, Fairport High School, the school system, had 11 full-time music faculty. I've talked about this on here. The head of the music department's name was Mo Sherrill. Mo was an Eastman, had his doctorate from Eastman. Everyone of the 11 music teachers had at least a master's degree from a reputable music school. And so wait, I'm going to, anytime anybody says anything about John Williams and talks about the planets, they go into the abyss. All right. I'm anybody that says anything derogatory about John Williams in the comments section, if you want to say it, feel free, but you will go into the abyss forever on this channel. So just telling people here before they post something like that. Let's see here. What's up, Dean? Out comes the hammer. There we go. John Williams is a genius. There we go. You can say what you want other places than here. You can, it's a free internet. Well, you got to pay for internet, I guess. You can be mean all you want, but you're not going to say a negative word about John Williams in the comments section here. Okay? Let's set up the base rules here. That's there we go. So, if you can't get out to see live music, try to listen to new stuff. Try to listen to something new every day, even for 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day. Dean, when Layla mentioned victory, priceless. I thought that too. It sounds like a her exact wording. What did she say? She said, it sounds like victory music. Like someone saves the day. And I thought, I couldn't put that any better than that. Like someone saves the day. The music sounds like that. The motifs, the ideas, the interval combinations, the orchestration, the way the trumpets, the way these lines are voiced makes it sound like that. The purity of the intervals, where the dissonances happen, the major seventh interval between B flat and A in that one spot, right? The suspended chords, it goes to that C7 sus, C, F, G, B flat before that section starts. Dun, 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 dun. That one dissonance in there just does it. It really does it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Blows me away. But for those of you that don't realize that I have about 50 film scoring videos on my channel, the thing is that you can't, it's hard to search those things. I had such terrible titles back then. I almost need to go back and retitle some of these things, because I would write some really I would have some really dumb titles. And I've gone back and retitled things. I heard Mr. Beast in an interview talking about how he goes back as people and they go and thumbnail and retitle old videos to update them. And I'm going to try and do that, because there's a lot of great information in those old videos. And instead of making new videos, or in addition to making new videos, I should say, I'm gonna do that and make them searchable. Anyways, so that's I think that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. We got the book is on sale here. The Beato Book, my bundle, Beato Book Ear Training Course and Quick Lessons Pro are all put together, $150 off. Most people that sell courses, they sell them for, I'm selling all three for $120 on the sale this week. And that's, I mean, these things are vast. If you're going if you've bought one and wanted to upgrade and can afford it, it's worth doing. Like I said, if you've bought the Beato Book in the past, any version 1, version 2, version 3, version 4, you are eligible for an upgrade. And I encourage you to go upgrade. I will send out a mailer. We've been sending out mailers. Aaron has, to remind people. Jari, what's up? Victory and adventure. There you go. We've been sending out to remind people to upgrade. I want people to upgrade because my new examples are so much better. They really are. And being able to hear them, I know that it was an impediment for people. Even though I had tablature in it, anybody can use it now. Any instrument could actually learn out of my book. I mean, the theory stuff is theory. It doesn't matter what instrument you're on. But now that you can hear the examples, it's way easier. Dean says, is the Chicago show still possible? The Chicago show is happening in November. It's been rescheduled to November 18th. So many people keep writing about John Williams' score, Superman score. So once again, one of the greatest fanfares in that. The horn writing, the brass writing is just absolutely outstanding. I mean, nobody can orchestrate for brass like John Williams. They can't. I don't know what just happened, but is it coming back on? Are we back? We're back. There we go. Sorry if I lost anybody there. I know it froze for a second. I'm going to re-say what I was saying. I'm going to go back to John Williams for a minute here. So, John Williams, to try and compare him to Eric Korngold, to compare him to any of the early 20th century composers, to compare him to Richard Strauss, to compare him to Wagner, compare him to Mahler, compare him to Holst. John Williams' vocabulary, harmonic vocabulary, is so far beyond them, okay? Because he's a jazz piano player. And it's just, you can't even compare him, the harmonic sophistication that he has. Aaron Copland, way beyond what those guys did. And I love them. Oh my God, I'm a massive fan of all those composers. Okay? But there's just things that they would never do that he does all over the place. Just take that one thing. Just take the one little fanfare part, or the last 2 minutes of the piece from E.T. No comparison. Absolutely no comparison. Thomas Newman. What about Thomas Newman? Genius. They're geniuses. I hope that I'm lucky enough to get to interview John Williams. I hope to interview Thomas Newman. I would love to interview film composers. My channel was really built on teaching about music theory, film composition. That's what I consider the core of my channel. It pains me to that people don't realize that I have all these videos. Oh, Rick, you're going to start making this. I'm like, what? I've made tons of film scoring videos. What? Search my channel, but whatever. I'll figure it out. We'll work it out. I have a Bernard Herrmann video, Rick. I already made it. Look it up on my channel. Type in Bernard Herrmann on my channel. You'll see a video. I mean, I made them years ago, but I made them. Bob James. I don't have any Bob James videos, though, but Bob James was one of my best friends in college, Jamie's next door neighbor. Funny enough. John Williams had way more effect on me musically than any band. John Williams has had more influence on John Williams may have had the most influence of any musician of the 20th and 21st century. More people worldwide know his music, I'll bet, than any composer. I think that that's probably true, because these things these movies are played everywhere in the world. Anyways, all right, you guys are amazing. I'm glad to be back on this channel. I'm going to be uploading more on this channel like I used to. I had a big video on here. I've had some big, I put my Brian May video on here. I had a video with an excerpt from the Tommy Emmanuel and Mike Dawes video that's almost at 1 million views on here. So you guys are the best. Sorry the stream ducked out for a second there for those of you watching, but I'm right in an hour. Great to see everyone. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you later this week. Should be out with another video tomorrow on the main channel. Night.